Hey guys, welcome back to TriggerSmart. The last video that we did where we did some of this testing, we got a lot of criticism, so I figured we would redo it in a more organized fashion, and we would measure things, and we would, in this case, we actually added more firearms. So we also added the Glock 43X, the Glock 19 Gen 5, we added a hammer-fired PX4 Storm, and then we also added a Canik Mete. We had what we had before, plus we added some more. So in this case, we ran it through the same type of test, but we're also going to do a drop test. We're doing a not touching the trigger test, trying to attempt to get it to go off by hitting it with a hammer and different things. And then we also, as you saw last time, we took it right to that edge where it was about to break, and then we manipulate the slide and see if we can get it to go off. It is costing us to do this. We're not making money off of this. We do not work for SIG. We don't work for any companies. And to also be very clear, in the comments, people are saying that this is diminishing what's happening with the P320 and what happened to Braden Levon. That is not the case at all. This is to show that what Wyoming Gun Project showed can be theoretically replicated, albeit at different tolerances and different distances and things like that of the trigger travel, which is significant. But they can be done basically across all the striker-fired weapons. All these firearms are completely empty and safe. They've all been cleared. And the only thing we're going to be testing is a primed casing. So there are no projectiles or anything that can hurt anyone. All right, first up, Glock 19. See how she does. Waist level. That's a pass. Beretta PX4 Storm. Rear. Front. That's a pass. Glock 43X. Rear. Front. It's a pass. Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. Springfield Hellcat. P320. This is pre-upgrade. It's a pass. Taurus G3 Tactical. Let's do that one again. That one, hit the handle first. Canik Mete. That's a pass. Glock 19C. That's a pass. Springfield XDS. It's a pass. Wilder PDP. Springfield Echelon. Pass. And then we have the P365 fuse. Now, just to prove these are in fact prime casings. All right, this time we're going to go backwards. We'll start with the P365. So as many of you requested, you wanted to do this without touching the trigger whatsoever to kind of simulate some of the alleged things going on with the P320. So what I will do is I will take a prime casing, put it in each one of these firearms, and then I'm going to hit it with a mallet, and then I'm going to manipulate the slide and smack it around in different things and see if I can get it to go off. All right, first up, P365. This is the fuse version. Okay, now let's go ahead and manipulate the slide. So as you can see, I'm not touching the trigger whatsoever. All right, P365, that's a pass. The Springfield Echelon. And it's much easier to load this way than the way I was trying to do it. And we'll do the same test here. A couple big whacks. Okay. And let's go ahead and manipulate the slide. Again, no trigger input. That one is also a pass. Okay, now we have our Walther PDP, one of my favorites. We'll give it some good whacks. Okay, manipulate the slide. All right, that one is also a pass. Now we have the XDS. All right, and let's manipulate the slide. All right, that one is a pass. Now we have the Glock 19C. Nothing. Manipulate the slide. Now you can hear on this one, if you listen, you can hear that there is more play, or at least more audible play. But same thing, this one passes. Now we have our Canik Mete, however you pronounce that. All right, manipulate the slide. This one seems to have more play in the back of the slide than some of the other ones. But still, doesn't go off. It's a pass. Then we have the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0. Manipulate the slide. This one again has a little bit of play, more in the front, but same thing, it's a pass. All right, next we have the Taurus G3 Tactical. manipulate the slide. Same thing, it's a pass. Then we have the Glock 43X. All right, manipulate the slide. Now this has some pretty good play in it too. You can hear that. All right, same thing, that's a pass. In here we have our wild card. This is the Beretta PX4 Storm. You guys are asking about hammer fired. So let's go ahead and set this up. The hammer is down. It is cocked. All right, manipulate the slide. And just to be clear, the safety is disengaged. Okay. There you go. Then we have our Springfield Hellcat. All right, manipulate the slide. It's a pass. P320. This one does have an apex trigger bar, I've been told. So that might be a difference why ours had to go further than 1 millimeter. And this one otherwise is stock, and this one is pre-upgrade. All right, manipulate the slide. Let me get this back in here, slipping out a little bit. All right, manipulate the slide. That one has a decent amount of play as well. You can hear it. Not as much in the back, definitely in the front. This version is a pass. So some of you also were asking about different generations of Glock. So this is a Glock 19 Gen 5. Missed that one. All right, manipulate the slide. Now this one, this Gen 5, I can tell you just from being here, manipulating it, this one has significantly less play in the slide than that 19C did. But I'm not actually sure what generation that 19C is. And I can't tell just by looking at it. I think it might be a Gen 3 based on the grip, but don't quote me on that. All right, that one is also a pass. So what did we learn here? We learned that all of these manufacturers' firearms, as they sit here in front of me, including the P320 sitting in front of me with the Apex trigger bar, that's the only modification. And this one is pre-upgrade. All of these passed. All right, so now we're going to attempt to get each of these to do the same thing we did in the last video. The difference this time is I'm going to move it incrementally and keep messing with it as I go. And then once it goes, then I'm going to measure the distance between the tip of the trigger and the back of the handle. So first we have P365. There we go. P365, Springfield Echelon. There we go. Springfield echelon. All right, while the PDP. Okay, I heard it click, so let's check. I'm guessing a light primer strike. Yep. So if you look there, I don't know if you can see that or not, but that is a light strike. So it did go off, it just didn't make this primer go. And this is actually the second one. The first time I thought it was a fluke, but this is now the second time that's happened. Next we have the XD9. So some of you were saying that I should pull the trigger and not mess with the safety back here and see if that goes off. Let's check. And let's try it while manipulating as well. So in that case, it seems like it's all right. There we go. And you think you get used to it after a while, but you don't. Next up, 19C. Whew, there we go. All right. Next we have the Canik Mete, or meaty, however you want to say it. I've been trying this Canik Mete here for multiple tries now, and I could not get it to break before this actually sets off the trigger itself. I'm going to try one more time. There we go. So that, in all disclosure, was like my third or fourth time of trying to get this to go without actually having this trigger it first. So that's been the most difficult one so far. Next we have M&P 2.0. Don't try this at home, kids. Especially if you have a ported barrel. Keep your fingers away from that port. Whew, there we go. All right. P320. There we go. All right, P320. And again, this is pre-upgrade. Springfield Hellcat. There we go. All right, next we have the Beretta PX4, and this is a hammered fire gun, and I do not see this one being able to replicate before the hammer drops, but we thought we'd throw it in as a wild card. And obviously we're going to be doing this in single action. Another thing for everyone to remember, about these hammer fires, and this one actually has a twisting barrel, is this top slide does not have the firing things in it. So the hammer is actually attached to the frame, and then the striker is inside of this. So for this to work, that would mean that the hammer itself would have to be wiggled loose by me doing this, and obviously, since it's part of the frame, that's not going to happen. So this is going to go off from this before it actually goes off from me touching the slide. Yeah, see. Next is the Glock 19. This is the Gen 5. There we go. All right, and now we have the 43X, which a lot of people were asking about. We didn't actually have it last time, but I was able to source it for this one. And if you noticed, I've changed my technique from what Jack was doing the other day. I'm just gently rocking the slide, not imparting hardly any movement on it. And I'm not moving the calipers when I'm doing it. So this is about as accurate and scientific as we can get with the equipment that we have. Obviously, the CNC machine guy, thinking man, could do it fairly accurately. There we go. All right. And last but not least, we have the Taurus G3 Tactical. I only have one prime case left. Let's see if this works. Whew, there it goes. All right. So after 3 tries, this is the 3rd try, I was able to get the G3 Tactical to go. So a lot of people have asked, what is the actual point of this whole thing? This originated from the Wyoming Gun Project's test, where he put a screw in there, moved it back about 1 millimeter, and he was able to make it fire by imparting some stress and some movement on the slide, which would change the distance between the sear and everything else inside here and make it so it could theoretically fire. So in his case, it did fire 5 times in a row, which, so they say, 2 makes it a witness, 3 makes it official. There were 5 there. Now in our case, this is a SIG P320, but this has a Apex trigger bar, and this one has not been upgraded. So that could be a difference. If we were to upgrade this and have a factory trigger bar, maybe it would be 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters, like he was able to show. So to be clear, the point of this had nothing to do specifically with the airman. And, God bless his family and rest in peace to him. It's a terrible tragedy. The point of this video was to show that what Wyoming Gun Project showed can basically be replicated across all of these firearms. But the difference is, from what he's saying, it only takes about 1 millimeter of input. So that's significant if that's the case, because all the rest of these, as you can see from the video, and I'll put the actual distances on there, it was significantly more than 1 millimeter. So if that's the case, then maybe that's something that should be looked into for sure. As always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this around. Check out these other videos to keep on learning, and I'll see you on the next one.